A warm welcome to you all to Dyalog16. There is my traditional slide of the delegates by country. 121 of those, some guests, and I like to see that we keep that fraction high. I love to see your spouses here that has so abstained from your company over the year, and maybe we can pay a little bit back during the conference. User meeting. Okay. And in numbers, it looks like this. Not much more detail, but 15 guests. And yes, there's 19 dialoguers. We only left 3 at home. One is Helene, who's always sending you invoices. And treat you nicely when you pay. There's Vince, famous for his outstanding support. He's manning the whole company while we're all here talking to you. But we have all these dialogue people here because this is your opportunity to nag them and suggest to them good new ideas and whatever you would like would be able to do in your day-to-day, you can do it here. Just grab them, talk to them, and nag them about new stuff that you need. Could you all stand up, dialogue people? They should all wear some kind of dialogue clothing, except maybe Adam. But he's easily recognizable anyway, I think. And we are in the process of hiring 2 more people. Young people, we need to make sure that the next 50 years is covered too. So we've hired 2 young people. It's very new. We take a long time to hire people because we do like them to be with us for a very long time. And I mean, we have good examples of that. Next year, Jeff is going to celebrate his 40th with Dyalog, or whatever the company's been named over time. And this year, and you wouldn't believe it, but John Daintree has actually been with us for 25 years. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. But sadly, it's not always we succeed in retaining people for their whole working career. So Nick, who's been doing the right for us, is leaving us by the end of the year. It's an amiable divorce, and he's not leaving us in the ditch. He's promised that if we get ourselves in trouble, he'll be there to help us at least for a while after he's left us. And I'm sure we're going to see him again, because I think he's actually infatuated with APL and will stay with it one way or the other. Right, so this year is the golden anniversary of APL. So this has forced us into a little bit of a different format for the user meeting. Usually we have like 3 sort of relaxed days of presentations and discussions, but because this year we've put Wednesday and Thursday morning aside for the talks, presentations that are about 50 years of APL, we've had to cram everything else into Monday and Tuesday. And who's ever been starting at 9 o'clock in the morning? But then when we discovered that all of you were here last night anyway, we decided we could go on instead of go on into the night. So a bit more compact than usual, the first 2 days with all the dialogue presentation and some user presentations. But maybe it's an advantage to have shorter and more concise presentations. You tell us, use the feedback forms that you are getting every day, and let us know whether you think you'd have liked more time for some of the things. Being in Scotland, yeah, you know, The reason why we are here actually is this room, because in England it's very hard to get tiered seating in auditoriums. And I hate sitting on a hotel floor where I can't see for the guy in front of me. So we found this place, and I mean, golly, hasn't Scotland shown us its best? I mean, the weather is just so nice. I feared it would be windy and stormy, but that's another thing that you always think about in Scotland, and that's whiskey. So obviously we can't give that a miss. So tonight, after dinner, there'll be whiskey and chocolate tasting. The other thing is Scotland is good old Viking territory. There's actually quite a few finds of Viking jewelry in Scotland, and the one we've chosen this year is found here around Glasgow. So the challenge this year, the Viking challenge, has everything to do with ships as well, though maybe a little bit more modern than what they were sailing in the Viking age. We get to try Thomas Gustafsson's Stormwind simulator live. Some of you might have noticed that there's a big thing out there in the lobby. That's a 3D simulator, physical simulator, so it's hooked up to Thomas's software, which will make it or give you the experience of a live boat ride. Thomas will tell us a little bit more about what he's doing right now and the simulator and how it's working in a little while. Right, so that was the fun and games. Another thing that happened this year was that MicroAPL decided that they were so busy with their cross-compiler business, and it was so well paid, that thinking about how they would take APLX into the next generation of hardware and software environments really wasn't appealing to them. So we had a chat, and we were very honored when they offered us to simply be the host for their download. They have posted the last version of APLX that can be downloaded for free forever after, but there will be no new releases. But also host their forums so that we can assist and get to know the APLX users and eventually, hopefully, help them when they decide to migrate to Dyalog. We have developed a suite of tools, and we are there to help you if you want to try and get your software from APLX to Dyalog. We welcome you all to our community, and I'm very happy to announce that some of the people are quite crafty people. One of them is, I think, the head of the American Bridge Association, and he's invited you all to a game of bridge this afternoon. Just come to the lounge at 7:30 after the sessions, and there'll be maybe a small tournament, at least a game of bridge. Or 5:30, 17:30. Yeah, it's the European thingy. Right. It's Jay Whipple who's there, so you can recognize him. And he says, even if you don't know bridge, come around and we'll teach you. So have fun with that. So about 3 years ago, we finally got Morten convinced that we should start selling APL. I've been talking to him about this for 10 years now, and he's always the perfectionist. It could always be better. But I think he's now convinced that it's good enough to start selling. But obviously, in this day and age, selling means web presence. The old way of selling is Not really. I mean, I remember when I was just sending out thousands of letters each month to people to sell them stat graphics. And it worked. These days, well, so we had a new website which we launched a couple of years ago. We started social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that. Also other social media that are more like forums or discussion forums that has to do with IT, software programming and stuff like that. And obviously YouTube. So since then we've been measuring, because it's like a completely new thing. You need to make experiments, see what works and what doesn't work. The biggest peak on Facebook was when we were sponsoring Karen's daughter doing pool. I don't know that very many people get to know about Dyalog for that reason, but we got a peak. On TryAPL, it was one day somebody had read it, say, "Oh, this is pretty cool, check that out." And Jason had a very busy day because 8,000 people tried to get on to TryAPL in a very short while, and we had to take it was almost a denial of service, but it was not malignant. Biggest number of views on YouTube, 157,000 views. Conrad's Game of Life, that John Scholes published in 2009. So it is 7 years ago, but it's a lot of people who've seen that one. It's amazing. And we can see that we have a very good website for our current users, because mostly that's who's coming there. But try and guess what that peak on this graph is. Can you see it's starting it's all the time since July 14, where we launched the social media presence. But there in June 16, what's that? Any guesses?
Release of my server?
Nice try, Michael. Well, it was version 15 and the new release of my server, yes. But it was when we announced that the personal non-commercial version would be free of charge in the future. And it's more than 2,000. Just because of that. Morten also posted on that, on one of the bigger geek media. Stack Exchange. So, yep. But the good thing is that we've seen, ever since that, 5, 6 every day requesting a non-commercial version. Yeah, so, right, I showed you this last year. There's still some work to do. When we finally get these new people to come to our website, we need templates, videos, lots of stuff about how wonderful APL is and how to use it. And I promised you that you would see more of that soon. Time flies, doesn't it? But what we did do, because we realized that we couldn't just start doing that too on top of everything else we were doing. So we appointed Jay Foe, a technical manager of Dyalog, so he's now manning the development team. So we needed to find a title for Morten, so we made him the CXO. And the X is not an unknown, it's the Chief Experience Officer. And he'll explain to you a bit about how he sees that role. And then we hired one more young future APL programmer. The other young person we've hired is supposed to do the work under Jay with the C development. So we hope that this will add enough bandwidth to our evangelism that we can actually get across to the audience out there. Because we need more quotes like this one. Isn't it beautiful? So we need him out there evangelizing, and we need them templates and videos and examples that can show the newcomers the benefits of APL in general and Dyalog in specific. So, there's one thing we've been doing for 8 years. It's the 8th time I think we are doing this. Is running this annual APL challenge for students. And this year we've done it a little differently. Instead of having a tiered 3-level pricing, we have 3 top prices in each category. We've had bioinformatics, finance, and general computing. So today we'll hear how Joshua David, can you get up? It's Joshua. How he won the competition. I'm not sure Marinus is here yet. No. So he'll be here tomorrow presenting how he did the bioinformatics. And on Wednesday, we'll hear from Zach. How he won the finance category. Now, I'm not just getting you to stand up to be a nuisance. It's because in previous years, people have asked to get to know who the winners are on the first day rather than the last day, so that they could have a chance to talk to you and maybe teach you things. And yeah, right. The prize ceremony will be on Wednesday as well. Now, what can be more prolific than having your own TV channel? A couple of months ago, there was a big excitement in the Dyalog crew because they found out you could get your .tv name and Dyalog wasn't taken. So we got that. Then we need something to put there. So Dyalog has been spending quite a lot of money this year in upgrading our recording equipment, better cameras, sound equipment, everything. And Jason has been very busy for the last month to get that whole thing put together so that hopefully, apart from recording excellent presentations this year, we'll also be able to do live streaming of the prize winners. So that's half an hour each day. And then most of the APL at 50 event, so that everybody who couldn't be here these days get a chance of actually taking part also. Right, I think that's all for me. So all left to say is enjoy the conference, make sure you get that inspiration, that talk to somebody that gives you the brilliant idea that's worth taking back home with you, because then it's worth everything we put together and everything you put into it. Thank you.